Hey, what's going on there, guys? Nick here from Absolute MTG, and I'm here with a booster box opening of the brand new Dragons of Tarkir. So, we are going to crack on into this and see what we can pull here. So, with this, I'll try to at least break down the set from a standard playability aspect and talk about some of the stuff that I'm excited for from this set as we pull it, if we pull it. But Narset and Sarkhan would definitely be cool. Considering that they are the higher end cards from this set. So we have our insert here. We'll throw the box off into the corner and we'll just get cracking. So I'm not really going to go through the commons or uncommons. We're mainly just going to look at the rares. And we will refocus here. Alright, so we have Kolgon Aspirants to start it off. And our first rare is the Icefall Regent. We have a foil Jutai Monument. It's pretty cool. And we have a Warrior that goes along with Secure the Wastes, I think it is. That card's actually pretty cool for just kind of like sideboard tech. I've actually been thinking about Secure the Wastes for like the Abzan mirror match. Just mainly because if you're playing Abzan Control and you get to the point where you're both sideboarding out Baublights, or at least even just the majority of your Baublights that you have, then Secure the Wastes doesn't seem like a bad card to be siding in. I mean, Dromoka, of course, is just really good in the mirror match, but we'll see as the format progresses what will come of it. And we have Harbinger of the Hunt. We have a foil Profound Journey. So return target permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield and rebounds. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, I think Narset's actually very playable. And with that I mainly mean for standard, of course. The card's very, very good in standard, and I wouldn't be surprised to see like a lot of control decks emerge. Skill Blessing, and we have Crater Elemental, 3-drop 06, 1 red, sack it. Deals 4 damage to target creature. Formidable, activate this as base power 8. Okay. Not really an impressive card overall. Limited filler, if anything. It's not even that amazing in limited, it's just kind of like big butt guy. Very interesting card nonetheless. And Duress is back. I wouldn't be surprised to see decks playing like 1 or 2 Duress in the sideboard on top of like Thoughtseizes. Dromoka Monument, and we have Damnable Pact. X and double black. Target player draws X cards and loses X life. Interesting card as well. I'm not sure where to gauge this card as far as standard's concerned. Drawing X and losing X could be a win condition. I mean, if decks are low enough, like if you can produce enough mana, forcing your opponent to draw and lose X life that would just kill them is definitely a win condition on its own. Outside of you just being able to draw and accelerate your actual hand and win the attrition war. Dragon Hunter. Dragon Hunter is really cool. And we have Dragon Whisperer. Alright, very, very dragon friendly here. Or anti-dragon friendly, I guess. Well, no, this guy actually doesn't do anything. This guy makes dragons. This guy's the one that just hunts them. So Dragon Whisperer, 2/2 for double red. Gains flying until the end of the turn for 1 red. 2 mana, can fire breathe until the end of the turn, and formidable if you control 8 power on board or greater. 6 mana, make a 4/4 red dragon. So I actually like this guy a whole lot in like red devotion decks. Previously we had the 3/1 goblin guy that was I don't want to say playable in devotion decks, or that made the devotion decks playable, but it definitely made it like a contender. And it was pretty cool with Purpose because you had like the ETB abilities, but this guy actually having a end to like your devotion, where you just make a whole bunch of devotion off of Nykthos, and you're able to actually do something with it, outside of like Perforos pumping or something like that. Making 4/4s is actually pretty sweet, and it accelerates your board state a whole lot. Of course, you already have to be somewhat present on the board to activate it, but if you're playing against a fair deck that's not playing Wraths, that actually is pretty good. We have Deathwind and Dragon Tempest, so whenever a creature with flying enters the battlefield under your control, it gains haste. Whenever a dragon enters the battlefield under your control, it deals X damage to target creature or player, where X is the number of dragons you control. Not too impressive. Cool for EDH and like tribal. More of a casual card than anything else. I mean, I can always be proven wrong, especially like if something profoundly stupid ends up coming around with like Dragon Tribal, but that card's definitely not something that I would be too worried about. Set of the Scale Words, Artisan, and Secure the Wastes. There we go. So actually to go along with that Warrior token, put X/1/1 White Warriors onto the battlefield and add an instant speed. And we have a Zombie 2/2. Is that for Sidisi? Yeah, that's for New Sidisi. That's pretty cool. So far the Dragon Whisperer was very cool. Very cool pull. And we have Assault Formation, enchantments tool, whenever, or each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power, so it has the Doran effect. 1 green, target creature with Defender can attack as though it doesn't have it, and 3 mana creatures you control get +1/+0 until the end of the turn. And we have a foil Marsh Hulk. I've actually seen a lot of these in foil, surprisingly enough. And a Goblin token. This guy looks cool. I think what everybody has said is it looks more like a Yeti than a Goblin. Either way, it's cool. I think what we'll grow to find is that this set has a lot of limited filler as far as rares are concerned, but it's hard to be very excited for a lot of rares whenever you're on that whole like pulling fetch lands in a rare slot and just pulling money outside of even the mythic slots very consistently. And we have Irish Shaman, 2/1 for 2, can't be blocked except by 2 or more creatures. Megamorph for 1 red, and whenever it's turn face up, exile the top card of your library, you can play that card for the turn. And yeah, until the end of the turn. And a dragon that goes along with Sarkhan. That's cool. That's sweet. As this progresses, we'll speed along a little bit. The other cool card out of this set that I really like is the 3/2 for 2 and the 3/3 for 3 mythic from the set. And Erishin Foremost. This card's really cool as well. 2/2 for 3, double strike, pseudo Silverblade Paladin. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, another target warrior creature you control gains double strike until the end of the turn. Not quite Silverblade Paladin, definitely different, but very cool nonetheless. It is a human warrior, adds towards the whole tribal warriors type thing. So I'll definitely try something cool with it. If nothing else, like a budget deck with warriors and the Foremost. It's not actually that expensive right now. The pre-sale for it I think is like $3 or something like that. It's definitely not more than $4, I know that. So it's pretty cheap. Roast is very, very cool. There's also the 1 mana Combust that only goes to 4 toughness, or deals 4 damage rather. Wood Squall and Ajutai's Command. Cool. Instant for 4. Choose to return a creature with CMC 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. You gain 4 life, counter target creature spell, and or draw a card. I actually think this card's very, very playable as far as controls concerned for this season of Standard. I think even more so like later on, if the format ends up like slowing down once rotation happens and we lose cards like Dissolve, the 4 mana counters definitely seem pretty good. That and Silumgar's Command. Silumgar's Command's really sweet as well. We have Dragonlord's Prerogative, 6 mana instant. As an additional cost to it, you may reveal a dragon. If you reveal the dragon or control a dragon as you cast it, it can't be countered. Draw 4 cards. So it's I remember seeing this card. It's whatchamacallit. Why can't I think of it? From the core set, the draw 4 for 6 mana. It'll come to me. It'll come to me eventually. Name's just Opportunity. There we go. I knew it would take me like a second to actually think of it. It's kind of like Opportunity. I mean, it has something additional to it to play into the flavor of the set and whatnot. But from a limited standpoint, yeah, it's Opportunity. Opportunity saw play in standard. A Tarkir command, so choose 2, 1 red, 1 green. Your opponent can't gain life. It deals 3 damage to each opponent. You may put a land from your hand onto the battlefield, and creatures you control get +1/+1 in reach for the turn. Card's very cool as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see like a burn deck just come around, like a red, white, green burn, something like that. Seems pretty cool. Or even just like red-green aggro or something like that. Silumgar Assassin, 2/1 for 2, Megamorph for 3, with creatures with power greater than it can't block it, and whenever it's turn face up, destroy target creature with power 3 or less. And another goblin. I'm done even just pulling out the goblins. I know it's out of focus right now. I have manual focus on my camera, but once we get towards the end, I'll actually go and refocus so you guys can see the actual table itself. Anticipate, that's very cool. Pseudo Impulse. Vegetation's back. Obscuring Aether, 1 green enchantment. Face down, creature spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. So yeah, I mean, that's it's cool. I guess if you want to play like a morph deck or something like that, that's cool. I mean, it's obviously not like competitive and playable as far as tier 1's concerned. This was this was flipped the opposite way. That's interesting. I was like, wait, is this at the top of the pack? But I opened up the pack upside down anyway. Battle Mastery, Monument, and Hedonist's Trove. Enchantment for 7 mana. Like, as soon as I see most of these cards and they're like 6 or 7 mana, I just think, alright, it's pretty much just only playable in EDH. Enters the battlefield, exile all cards from target opponent's graveyard. You may play land cards exiled with it. You can cast non-land cards exiled with... you may cast non-land cards exiled with Hedonist's Trove. You can't cast more than 1 spell this way each turn. Yeah, but it doesn't let you cast them for free. That's the thing. If it let you cast them for free, I would actually just try to play that in like Control or something like that. If you can cast them for free and you're just limited to 1, that seems pretty cool. There's some incentive to actually play it. But like outside of that, like with most of those very, very expensive cards, you just have to think like, yeah, it's cool for EDH. Sight Beyond Sight, Servant, Deceiver, and Sunscorch Regent. 4/3 for 5 flying. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and you gain 1 life. Very, very sweet for limited. This card's just such a huge bomb for limited. Especially if you already have like an established board. If your opponent's just casting creatures, like you're pretty much just going to get there with like the guys you already have committed to the board. But if they're casting like spells, trying to make their guys big or anything in between, even if they cast a removal spell on it, like just the fact that you gain life as a bare minimum and make it bigger, which may or may not make a difference, is something. We have Corpse Weft, enchantment for 3. 2 mana exile, one or more creature cards from your graveyard. Put a XX black zombie horror onto the battlefield tapped, where X is twice the number of cards exiled this way. So you can only get rid of creatures. And we have a foil of Jutai's Breath. I've noticed that it's pretty hard to pull the 1 mana Combust. I might have like overlooked like 1 or 2 of them while going through the cards here, but From what I've noticed with like pre-release packs and people pulling them, and just what people have told me, not a lot of people actually pulled them. And then we have Bolton Marauder, 5/4 for 5 flying. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gets +2/+0 until the end of the turn. Doesn't have to be the same one. So you can just make other guys bigger that already pre-exist. Again, another really sweet card for limited, but not all too amazing or impressive as far as standard is concerned. And we're about almost done with the second column here. We still have a few more packs. We have a foil. I don't want to spoil what that is. We do have Shortcrasher Elemental. Very sweet. 3/3 for triple blue. It can exile itself, then return it to the battlefield face down under its owner's control for 1 blue. For 1, it can give itself +1, -1, or -1, +1 until the end of the turn. Megamorphs for 5. And very sweet with Master of Waves. Then we have a foil Acid Spewer Dragon. So just an uncommon. I mean, just an uncommon, but it's a foil nonetheless. Foils are always sweet. Short Crashers seems very, very playable this upcoming season. Just the fact that Master of Waves pumps it outside of even like the actual making of tokens is also pretty cool. It's kind of like just cherry on top of the little cupcake there. Ultimate Brace, very cool. And Pitiless Horde. Oh, Pitiless. Pitiless? Yeah, Pitiless. 5/3 for 3. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 2 life and dash for 4. It is a 5/3 for 3. That's really cool. I guess it's kind of like close to Master of the Feast, except this card doesn't have flying, but it does have that drawback. You lose life off of it, and your opponent can block with a like 3 power creature, and they will trade. So far so good. Nothing way too amazing as far as like foil rares or anything like that. But Short Crasher and the Dragon Whisperer is definitely very cool in my book. Just the art on this card is really sweet. Learn from the past. Tarkir Monument and Sunbringer's Torch. 4 mana sorcery, bolster X, where X is the number of cards in your hand. Each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it gains trample until the end of the turn. What else is really cool out of this set? Thunderbreak Regent. That card's very, very playable. Insanely playable, actually. Circle of Elders, Solomgar Monument, Clone Legion. Oh, this is the other blue mythic. Damn. I wish it was any other mythic, honestly. Sorcery for 9. For each creature target player controls, put a copy onto the battlefield. That's a copy of that creature. And a foil Sandstorm Charger. Again, it's cool for it's cool for EDH. I don't really imagine a 9 cost sorcery spell that only just clones guys and lets you get them onto the battlefield is that impressive. Silk Wrap, Profound Journey as our rare, so 7 cost sorcery. We already read that one earlier. Brings a permanent actually back from your graveyard to the battlefield and rebound. If only it didn't cost 7. Like if it cost like 5 or something and it was like opposite odds aid, that would be just insane. I don't even know insane, but it would be really cool. Just given that we have so many ways to just put stuff into your graveyard between like Sidisi and Satyr Wayfinder and stuff like that. Smoker's Captain, Smoker's Gift, Encase in Ice, Den Protector, creatures with power less than it can't block it. So it's kind of like the reverse of the other one that we were looking at. 2/1 for 2, Megamorph for 2. Whenever it's whenever it's turned face up, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. I think I pulled one of those at the pre-release, and yeah, I pulled one of those at the second pre-release that I did, and I didn't even end up playing it because I went with red-black and actually had a whole bunch of stuff that was playable in red-black. Commune with Lava, X and double red, exile the top X cards of your library. Until the end of the next turn, you may play those cards. Not for free, again. You actually have to pay the mana costs for them, but the fact that the following turn, like if you're playing, I don't think this card's going to be anything to just break like Burn, but in the case of like playing Burn and you want to go and exile the top X cards and you have like a bunch of Burn spells on top of your deck, if you're casting a bunch of cheap stuff the following turn, then it does give you a way to close the gap and see a lot more cards as well. And also get through lands that could have been on top. Illusory Gains, 5 mana, almost Mind Control. Enchanted creature, you control enchanted creature. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, attach Illusory Gains to that creature. So it just keeps on bouncing between stuff, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. I actually really like the entire flavor and just the way that this card is designed entirely. So if your opponent's just playing all creatures that are basically like power creeps or just really powerful, then you do get the benefit of just being able to keep on bouncing with the same stuff. Like if they're just playing like Siege Rhinos, like in the case of like Abzan Control, if they play Siege Rhino and all they're playing from that point is Siege Rhino, maybe on the off chance like a Courser, you get to take their Siege Rhino until the next creature enters, which if it's a Siege Rhino, then you just get that one. So it just keeps on bouncing through. Self-inflicting wounds are really sweet. And then we have Pristine Skywatch, 6/4 for 6, flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, untap it. It gains protection from the color of your choice until the end of the turn. Self-inflicting wounds, pretty sweet. I was actually talking about this on the Facebook page as far as metagaming and sideboard tech goes. I wish it was actually instant speed, because at that point in time it'd be really good against Heroic. However, I'm not sure how present Heroic's going to be in the format. I don't know. I don't want to say that it's like tier 1. It definitely puts up results. It's probably like tier 1.5 as far as standard's concerned. Or at least as far as like the previous season's gone. It's definitely won its fair share of events. Rending Volley can't be countered. By spells or abilities, deals 4 damage to target white or blue creature. So there's our 1 mana combust, pseudo combust for less damage. And then we have Dragon Hunter and Volcanic Visions. 7 mana, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand, deals damage equal to that card's CMC to each creature an opponent controls, and exile the card after it resolves. So the Volley is real sweet. People were talking about it as far as Modern's concerned and playing it just in decks where you want to have the sideboard tech against like Splinter Twin. Obviously it's really good against Splinter Twin. However, Combust has the overlap where you're also able to hit cards like Siege Rhino in the Modern format. So that was always like the upside to Combust. However, I'm sure with some playtesting people will be able to figure out what the accurate number, if any, of Rend Volley is actually going to be. And we have Bloodchin Fanatic. 3/3 for 3 for 2, sack another warrior creature. Your opponent, or target player rather, it's not even opponent. Target player loses X life and you gain X life, where X is the sacrifice creature's power. So it's going off power and not even like CMC or anything. So the Bloodchin's pretty interesting. I think like in White-Black Warriors it's playable. But yeah. Cool card. How many mythics have we pulled? We pulled 3, so probably like 1 more in this box, if not maybe 2. If we get 2, we'll be very lucky. We have Sirach the Hunt Caller, not a mythic this time. So with Sirach, at the beginning of your combat on your turn, if you control 8 power on board or greater, target creature you control gains haste until the end of the turn. So with Sirach, I actually think he's pretty playable. Obviously, whenever Pelucranos rotates out, we are going to have that 5/4 for 4, or rather not a 5/5 anymore, but a 5/4 now. But I think it was, who was it? Craig Wesco was actually talking about this card on an article online, and he was talking about green-white aggro and just the Sirach having some really cool synergy with that type of an archetype. Acid Spewer, and Jutai Exemplars. So another mythic here. Not a very impressive one, or not one that I'm excited about, but it is a mythic nonetheless. I should be excited about pulling mythics, but The competitive edge in me just wants this to be like a Narset. But 4/4 for 4, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, choose one, tap target creature, it gains first strike and lifelink until the end of the turn, or exile it and then return it to the battlefield, tapped under its owner's control. Very interesting that they chose tapped. But either way, the card has a lot of different modes that make it really sweet, so you can definitely gain some advantage over having this guy out there and playing it in some kind of like white-red or blue-white-red type shell. Really cool card nonetheless. I'm not actually sure how playable this card is. It actually seems pretty playable, but we'll see. We'll definitely see. Not one of the mythics that I'm more excited about, but it's one that's definitely on my radar. I would have been more excited about the green one than this white one. But mythics are mythics nonetheless. Mythics are always sweet pulls. Like, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer about it, but you just kind of have to stay realistic about it most times. Like, there are a lot of cards that are just regular rares in this set that I'm pretty excited about. Ultimate Price, I'm even excited about uncommons here. Hidden Dragon Slayer, 2/1 for 2, lifelink, Megamorph for 3, whenever it's turn face up, destroy target creature with power 4 or greater and opponent controls. So the opposite of the Silumgar's hand, I think it was, the other 2/1 for 2 morph in black, or Megamorph in black rather. We have a foil Sarkon's Rage, a swamp, and a zombie horror. And then just a few more packs here, just 3 more packs, and then we're done. So a little bit more lengthy this time around, but I actually did want to kind of talk about some stuff within the set and actually go through the cards a little bit more, I don't even want to say like descriptively, but just more in depth. We have Dromoka's Command. I actually really like this card. Instant for 2. Did we actually get one of these previously? I want to say that we did. Did we? It's hard to even remember. No, we got it in a Tarkir's Command. So with this one, prevent all damage target instant or sorcery would deal this turn. Target player sacks a enchantment. Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, or target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. I actually really like this card. Again, this was another one that, what's his name? Wow, why is it just eluding me right now? Craig Westco. This is another card that Craig Westco was playing in that list that he was talking about, and actually looked pretty sweet and seemed to function pretty well within that shell. And 2 more packs. This is the second to last one. We have a Blessed Reincarnation. So instant speed, 4 cost, exile target creature and opponent controls. That player reveals cards from the top until they hit a creature. And they put that card onto the battlefield and shuffle their library, and it has a rebound. What happens to the rest of them? Reveal. They reveal cards off the top of their library until a creature card is revealed. Puts that card in the battlefield and shuffles the rest. Alright, so it doesn't even mill. I think... Who was it? Was it Bob that was playing it? Yeah, my friend Bob was playing this at the pre-release, and I think he assumed that it was also milling. So that's why I had to like double check. I was like, oh, it actually doesn't mill. So all the rest of them just get shuffled back in while you exile one big guy, and then they just search for another one. So it polymorphs their guy, and you also have a rebound on it, which if it milled, that would actually have been even more cool. But I think he also must have misread the card thinking that it milled. Alright, so there you go, Bob. It doesn't actually mill. And then we have Profaner of the Dead. So 3/3 for 4, exploit. Whenever it exploits a creature, return to their owner's hands all creatures your opponents control with toughness less than the exploited creature's toughness. That's pretty cool. I actually really like the way that that card works. We have a Mountain and a Morph. So unfortunately, no Planeswalkers out of here. We did pull 4 Mythics, and they were all actually very cool. Let's see. Let's just take a look here. I did pull 1 foil rare, the Profound Journey. But let's see. We did pull 1 Dromoka's Command, 1 Atarka's Command, and 1 Ajutai Command. There's the Tarkas and there's a Jutai. So these are all, I think all three of these are playable. The Exemplars, we had, what were the other ones? Whisper, what was the other one that we had? The Short Crasher, I remember. Short Crasher Elemental. Where are you at, bud? You are hiding. You don't want to come out. There he is. Short Crasher and Clone Legion. So Clone Legion is definitely the least impressive out of all of these mythics, but we did pull 4 of these. I almost feel like we pulled another one and I'm just missing it. We'll just quickly skim through this stuff. I mean, a lot of really cool cards. Like, I know the box honestly isn't really that impressive. But, however, there are a lot of, like, fairly average cards that definitely could see some play. Now, these were all the mythics that we actually did pull. So the Clone Legion, Short Crash Elemental, Whisper, and Exemplars. The Elemental is definitely the most playable out of the 4 that we have here. Dragon Whisper is probably second, and then Exemplars, and then Clone Legion very low down at the bottom there. All the commands that we have are playable. What else? Secure the Waste seems playable. Sirach, definitely. Even the Fanatic, even if it's seeing more fringe play than anything else. The Assassin seems cool. I want to say that this one's probably not going to see play. And the Erishin Foremost seems like it could see play. It itself has Double Strike, which is cool. But I don't know. I want to do something with Tribal Warriors, and we'll probably, you guys will probably see something within the near future here, as far as tribal decks and even like budget decks, if nothing else, go. We pulled some tokens here as well with some foils. Profound Journey in foil. No other rares. No, that was the only rare that we pulled in foil. But either way, I think the box was actually pretty average. Like, it wasn't anything to brag about, honestly, but I'm actually pretty content with the box overall. I actually did get some cards that I do want to build and actually play with. So hopefully your experience for Dragons of Tarkir has been good as far as the pre-release has gone. If you guys have any sweet experiences with the pre-release that you want to share, share them down in the comments below. Let me know how your pre-release went, any sweet pulls or anything like that. Over the pre-release, I think I have 2. Yeah, I have 2 Narsets now, and a couple of other cards that I was able to trade for that I actually needed, stuff like Thunderbreak Regions. But yeah, let me know how your pre-release went, what your expectations or thoughts of Dragons of Tarkir actually are, and overall, yeah, just leave some comments and whatnot, and some love down in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up video on it, or the thumbs up button on this video, and subscribe to the channel for more YouTube content. So thank you guys for watching. This is a lengthy box opening video, but until next time, peace out.